Hey, what's goody? Oh, I wrong intro. That's for my other channel. Hey. So Xenoblade X is less than 48 hours away. Almost 24 hours away. By the time y'all are seeing this video, it is literally dropping tomorrow. So the hype has never been more high. There's nothing more hype than the last hour, the last 10 minutes, last 5 minutes before a game goes live, and as soon as it hits midnight, 12:01, just spamming the home icon to get into the game, and just as soon as it loads up, just the absolute dopamine rush. However, Xenoblade X is very close. One more day and we will have it in our grasp. And I wanted to kind of talk about what Xenoblade X DE means for the future of this series, because this kind of threw a lot of Xenosaga truthers off, me included. I was not expecting this to happen, and for a moment I had thought that this is like confirming that Xenoblade X is happening and not Saga. But hear me out, I still think Xenosaga is going to happen. I think Xenosaga is still going to happen, and there's multiple reasons why we got XDE. So first of all, my main reason, and this one is probably like the least credible, but I think we're just getting XDE right now to hold us over until Xenosaga remakes are announced either next year or so for Switch 2. And the reason I think that is because the same exact thing happened with Xenoblade 1. Now we got Xenoblade 1 DE in between the time of Xenoblade 2 and 3. However, we got Xenoblade 1 DE for two reasons. One, like I said, to hold us over, just to give us a Xenoblade game to play while we wait for Xenoblade 3, but also because Xenoblade 1 holds some importance and relevance in Xenoblade 3. So they'd want to have people play both 1 and 2 before jumping into 3. So they just remastered the game for the Switch. So we had all of the games there. I feel like something similar is happening with Xenoblade X DE, where we're getting it to kind of hold us over, just to have a Xeno game to play before Xenosaga remasters, and just to have all of the Xenoblade games on one console anyway, since X was the only one not on Switch yet. Now, and okay, this kind of depends on where X is going as well. According to someone, they had seen the discussion and like all of the new story content at the end of Xenoblade X, and apparently it is dividing a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be happy about it, while others are going to be upset. Now, I really hope that they do not canonize X. I hope X stays its own like contained storyline and isn't tied in and connected with the rest of the Blade series. For multiple reasons. One, because I feel like X would just be interesting as its own thing. It doesn't really need to be tied into the main trilogy. And two, that just gives me more hope that Xenosaga will be tied in. But another reason why we're getting Xenoblade X, I think, pretty sure I just said it, just to have like all of the games on Switch. Now, just because I think like the Saga remakes are still happening, we're just having Xenoblade X DE right now just to give us something to play until they're announced. X2 could still be happening. Like if Xenoblade X isn't connected to the main story, and this is why I said it depends, because obviously I haven't seen spoilers or anything. I have no idea what happens in the new story content, so it could be connected and it could not be. And if it's not, then Xenoblade X2 could still come, just not next. We could be getting Xenosaga remakes first. And why I think Xenosaga remakes are what's happening next is obviously because of what happened at the end of Future Deemed. Okay, we've been over this so many times before. Months and months there's been discourse about Xenosaga versus Xenoblade X. If you want to like see my full breakdown and why I think Xenosaga is coming, go watch this video right here. It'll be linked in the description. But very brief like summary, not really summary, very brief explanation. We already know what happened at the end of Future Deemed with the whole Vector Radio, Dmitry Yuriev, and then very obviously Cosmos falling to Lost Jerusalem. And how I know, or I guess I'm very certain it is Cosmos and not the white whale, because first of all, why would the white whale have like a blue glow to it like that? The only part of the white whale that is blue like that is like the dome covering NLA, and I highly doubt it would be that reflective to where all of the light is blue like that on the white whale, considering the white whale, the dome holding NLA is relatively about less than half of the ship itself. So I don't think the entire like gleam of the ship would be that blue. And I mean, another reason why it, like if it was the white whale it would be blue, is because that's just the main accent color of Xenoblade X, is like a nice teal turquoise bluish color. But literally in the Xenosaga 3 database for Cosmos, it says, I don't remember exactly what it says, I'm paraphrasing here, but it said something about how her body, all battered and broken, started to glow with a blue light. It specifically notes that it glows with a blue light, and then at the end of Future Redeem we see a blue light, and just the ending lines up perfectly with Saga 3's ending. So like we said, we've been over this many a time before, but there's no way this isn't hinting at Xenosaga. And just like with all of the Xenoblade games, Takahashi likes to say, the ending of the game hints at the future of the series. So now that we're getting XDE with new story, we're just gonna have to wait to see what the ending of the new story content is in DE, to see if that further like hints towards Xenosaga or an X2 or something else. Maybe we'll finally learn about what the planet is, like something about this planet. We'll finally learn about that. But another reason why I think Xenosaga is going to be happening and next actually is because after Future Redeem had released in an interview with Takahashi, I think it was after Future Redeemed or either before FR and after 3 came out, I don't remember the exact time, doesn't really matter, but Takahashi did say that Xenoblade 3 is going to be a stopping point for the Xenoblade series. Xenoblade is not over, this isn't the end of the series, it's just this current storyline, the Cloud Saga has ended and it's time for a new storyline. And he's been working on this series since before 2010, because games are in development before the years they release. So it's been over a decade, like a decade and a half, 15 plus years he's been working on this series. I'm sure he wants a bit of a break. I don't think he wants to completely take a break from Xeno as a whole, but at least for Xenoblade right now. He said Xenoblade 3 is going to be a stopping point, and what better way than to work on continuing or at least revitalizing Xenosaga while he kind of like thinks about what he wants to do for more Xenoblade games. Like I always said in that video I mentioned earlier and many other videos, I think Xenoblade 4 is going to be a reimagining of what Xenosaga 4 was supposed to be like, and that's why I think Xenosaga remakes could be coming, because similar with Xenoblade 1 DE, he wanted 1 on the Switch along with 2 because 1 is important to Xenoblade 3, so he wants people to play the previous games before getting into the third game. Kind of the same with Xenosaga. They would obviously want people to be caught up on the game and the stories, so they're going to remaster or remake Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3, have them all on Switch 2 before finally dropping Xenoblade 4, which is continuing the Xenosaga story. I mean, it's just perfect that way. It like perfectly lines up. I'm sure he wants to continue the Xenosaga story. I don't think he would want to just abandon it, since there are 3 whole other games that he never got to make. Since Saga was supposed to be 6 games, we only got 3, so I'm sure he still wants to tell the story of Xenosaga at least, because Xenogears, there's just no chance. All right, there's just no chance. This is Square we're talking about. Bandai Namco is a lot less protective, I guess, of the IPs. They're more willing to like do something with the IP, not just sit on it and do absolutely nothing with it like Square is doing for Gears. So Bandai Namco and Nintendo have a pretty good relationship since they had opened a new like development studio together. So, and given how important Monolith Soft is to Nintendo, I'm sure that all 3 of them could work something out to have Xenosaga remasters or remakes appear on Switch 2. So it will be remaking the Xenosaga games, at least remastering them, so that way by the time Xenoblade 4 comes around, people will be caught up with the story of Xenosaga, and then we can jump right into Xenoblade Saga 4. And working on the Xenosaga games would have been a nice break from Xenoblade, since Xenoblade 3 was a stopping point. He can work on the Xenosaga games in between. As for Xenoblade X and why that's here, like I said, just to have, maybe just for a reason to have all of the Xenoblade games on the Switch, like all on one console, since remaking or remastering all 3 Xenosaga games would take quite a while. So he'd give us the entire Xenoblade series on one console to like play and while, you know, Saga is in development. X was the only game not on Switch, so might as well just port it over or like remaster it over with some more story content. And I have a feeling that the story content is going to be stuff that was scrapped from the original version. And I mean, obviously going to have some new stuff to it, but I think most of it's going to be stuff scrapped from the original version. But anyway, my main point is that even though we're getting XDE right now, I still think Xenosaga remakes or remasters are coming, and Xenoblade X is here just to like give us something to play while we wait for like a Saga 1 remake. Or maybe they'll just like do like a Prime Trilogy thing where they lump all the games together in one big remaster and shove that out, and then after that, then he'll start working on Xenoblade Saga 4. That would kind of make a lot of sense than releasing Saga 1, 2, and 3 all separately. Just put him into like a Super Mario 3D All-Stars type of thing. That'd be very cool. But I started to like digress a bit in this video, but I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Even though we are getting XDE right now, depending on what if X is connected to the series or not, I think Xenosaga is coming next, and then maybe in X2 or Xenoblade 4. But for sure, Xenosaga just has to be next. It just has to. But that's about it. See you next mission and play some goddamn Xenoblade.